Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am building another family home, and this time I am building here in the world of Newcrest. Not that it's too important for the build, you could honestly probably place this home anywhere. Newcrest is just a nice neutral world to build in. I mean, some worlds I guess would probably look kind of out of place if you place this house, but I'm sure this one, Willow Creek, Brindleton Bay, those sorts of more suburban-y type feeling worlds. But basically when I started building this home, the only plan that I had was to do a realistic style family house, something that was pretty cozy and lived in, had a couple of kids and a backyard for them to play in and that sort of idea. And I was looking at a specific image on Pinterest when building the exterior, so I'll put it up on screen and I will definitely make sure to put it up on screen this time. I am absolutely the worst at doing that. I just get kind of excited when I finish a voiceover and I'm like, oh yay, it's all done. And then I just, export my video and I think that's it and I just forget. So please forgive me. I've been trying to make sure if I do forget then to at least link it in like a pinned comment or something, so those of you who are interested in seeing what I've looked at to build, whatever building it is, then you guys can find it really easily. Of course, you can always follow me on Pinterest if you would like to. I pin lots of different just ideas. I have lots of different boards. Some things I never end up using, and yeah, some things I do. So you can definitely follow me over there if you would like to. But yeah, this house ends up having 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. All of the bedrooms are upstairs, so 3 bedrooms upstairs, and then there's a shared bathroom for the family. And I just absolutely adore the kids' bedrooms in this build. I think I did a really good job, so I'm hoping that you guys are going to like it too. I just feel like they're so fun and playful and just have so much personality and just look really cool in my opinion. They're not very unique ideas necessarily. I've definitely done these themes before. I did a sports theme and then I did sort of like a little campers theme bedroom. I just love the stuff from Little Campers. It's so cute. It's like such a fun style. I always want to use that tent that came with it, but it's so big. Like, I think it would be so cool to use in bedrooms, but I wanted to use it in this one, but it just wasn't going to work. So it's kind of unfortunate. I wish stuff like that was a little bit easier to use. But anyways, that pack is so cool and comes with really great items. So I used it in that room. And then also the sports themed bedroom. We got lots of great stuff that came from, well, various packs previously, but most recently the high school years expansion pack came with some like really nice posters and stuff. So I really enjoyed decorating both of those rooms. And then for the parents, I think one of them is definitely into knitting because there's a like home office area downstairs, and I put lots of stuff from the Nifty Knitting stuff pack in there, and I thought that was super cute and just kind of like a crafting room / computer room. And so it's just kind of like a general skill building room basically, so you could easily switch it up depending on your specific Sims. Maybe they'll have like a different skill or something that would be better used in that room. And then the rest of the downstairs has a downstairs bathroom. There's the living room, a dining room, a kitchen, and I just really like the layout of all of those rooms. I think they flow together really nicely, and it just feels so realistic because you walk right into the living room when you walk in the front door. And I've mentioned this previously that I build lots of things that have like grand entryways, and they have like, the staircase, and it's just nice and open, and then it goes off to either an office or a dining room or a living room, off to the side or something. But for me, it's so much more realistic if you just open the front door and there's like the couch is right there. At least, most homes that I've lived in or at least have visited, you just kind of walk into the living room. So for me, it feels very realistic, so I was happy to be able to do that here. And I wasn't originally really planning on that. You'll see once I go onto the interior, I'll mention it a little bit, but I was kind of planning on having like an extra like seating room at the front because I thought that, I thought that the dining room was going to fit more into the kitchen basically, but where I was originally going to have the living room ended up being the dining room. So yeah, I don't know, it didn't work out the way that I thought. Like the size of the house wasn't the size that I thought, but I ended up actually expanding the house by a tile to make the living room fit in the very front room. And so it's not like a huge change. I just kind of had to expand the house just a little bit. And I'm really happy that I did because The garage ended up being bigger. Both of the kids' rooms ended up being bigger, so I was able to fit like a lot of different stuff in their room. I think more than I would have been able to if I would have decorated it the size that it was originally, but it didn't really change the overall look of the house. But where I just placed that fireplace is where I thought the living room would be, but that ends up being the dining room. So I moved the fireplace into the front room, and that ends up being the living room. So it'll make more sense, of course, once we go on to the interior and you see me place the objects and stuff. But yeah, in the garage, I add a washer and dryer in there, and then basically like garage related items. I also added a mini fridge in there, a punching bag. I was thinking maybe that the other parent spends a lot of time in there exercising, blowing off steam, and sort of just hanging out and stuff, maybe just for some quiet alone time, because I'm sure these parents don't get a lot of alone time or quiet time, and so I'm sure they're like busy working, and I'm sure the kids are very active and busy doing lots of different activities, especially probably the kid that's in sports, but even the other one, I think they're in lots of different activities because of the scouts that we could do in game too. I don't really know exactly how those function, but they have the scouts board, and so the scouts board is a really nice thing to include in rooms like that. And so I don't know if they actually have like maybe rabbit hole activities that they go to or something like that. But anyways, over here I was further looking on Pinterest and I saw some really cute garden sheds, and so I thought I might as well build a garden shed in this build because that's something that I don't really build very often. Usually I build like greenhouses or something like that, not like just a general garden shed, and so I thought this would be a fun thing to include, and I just think it ends up looking so good. So I was thinking either one or both of the parents is very much into gardening and maybe just growing plants in general, maybe not even specific garden plants, maybe just like flowers and maybe just greenery and stuff. So I don't know, it depends on what you want to grow in here, but I thought that this shed ends up being so cute. I cluttered it up with a bunch of different decorations. I fully planted all of the planters that are in here, and I really like what I did with the windows here. These windows, it came from Snowy Escape, and you can layer windows in game. No problem. I think you probably have to have move objects on, but I always have move objects on. But they do flicker quite a bit when you layer them. So what I did was I used the tool mod, and I just use the gravity pull feature to move them slightly away from each other so they still look like at the same placement or the same level basically within the wall. Even though I pulled one slightly away from the other one, they still look like they're at the same placement, because with the tool mod you can make like micro adjustments basically, and with the gravity pull feature it's super handy. All you have to do is hold down the Alt key and then place it some distance away from the object that you have highlighted, and then it'll move it and kind of drag it towards where you're clicking. And so the further away you click, the more it's going to move. So if you just click very close to something, it'll move it like ever so slightly, enough to make a difference. Like here, it didn't cause any visual glitching anymore, but it's not as like big of a difference where you notice that the windows are actually placed at different placements. So hopefully that makes sense, but I'm just so pleased with the results. And so I'm definitely going to have to layer windows more often, because that's the reason I never really do it, just because usually when you place windows over top of each other, they have like a weird sort of visual glitch, and I was able to solve it. So I'm very happy about that. And something you may have noticed with the roof, I decided to leave the default roof. Normally I always change the roof to a different color or pattern or, you know, one of the other different options and not leave it as the default one. But for this particular house, I thought the default one actually looked really nice. Here I'm moving on into the garden shed, decorating it first. And so I'm adding some vertical planters, some little planter pots, some decorative planters. Over here I was going to add just like some storage behind this wall, but I decided to add a walk-in closet, and we can pretend that it's garden storage and not clothes. And I just basically thought that it might be like some fun gameplay to have your Sims woohoo in the garden shed. So that's why I placed it there. And yeah, it filled in the spot pretty nice. And then other than that, I mostly just placed like a lot of like decorative plant items. And I decided to use this shelf. I think it came with, I'm actually not sure which pack this one came with. This one right here with the rubber boots on it looks so cute and so adorable. I recently used it in a modern farmhouse build that I did, and I just realized that I never really used this object, so I remembered to use it again, and I'm really happy about that because I thought it looked so cute in here. And then there's also the flower arranging table, so your Sims actually have another activity they could do in here. They could do some like flower arranging or something. I wish there was like a potting bench or something, because we have some really nice decorative ones like the one that I used in there. We also have the one that came from Eco Lifestyle. Did it come from Cottage Living? I think that shelf that I used in there might have came from Cottage Living. But anyways, we have that one. We have the one from Eco Lifestyle. And then we also, I think, may have like another one, but it would be so cute if your Sims could actually like pot little plants and like spill dirt, or it would be such a cute little like gameplay interaction, I think. But there, you may have noticed I expanded the house just by one tile on the right side to make room for the living room, because I realized that this was not going to work the way I thought. I was thinking that I would have like 2 living rooms basically. This would be more of like a sitting room, but the more I thought about it, the less realistic I thought that would be, because it's definitely more of like a larger, like fancier home to have like a proper like lounge room that doesn't have a television, like a more like socializing room or whatever, a tea room. I don't know what you would use those living rooms for, basically just to sit and chit chat. Maybe you have like a piano in there, you could listen to somebody play some music, but I just felt like that really wasn't going to go with the theme of the build. So having that be the dining room and this be the living room just made so much more sense. And here I'm using the Little Campers pillows to add some pillows to these base game couches. These are still honestly the best couches that we have in game. They look the most comfortable, they're the most realistic, like best looking shape, and we only have 3 swatches, so it makes them kind of limited because of that. And then also I think pillows are necessary just to kind of add a more comfortable, realistic look. So yeah, I just think that these pillows worked out really nice in here, and I love that they have the patterns on them. I've mentioned how I wish that they would have came with some like solid swatches, and I still wish that they would have, but for this particular house, I think having some patterns just gave it so much more like character and looked so cute. Here, unfortunately, the pillows had disappeared when I edited the wall. I moved the wall over to make room for those bookcases, so I had to replace them. And this actually happened to me in another build that I'm working on, and then I realized that I could turn on the deletion protection, or I think that's what it's called, but it's another feature of the tool mod, and it actually worked so great for this particular problem. I was working on an apartment, and I tried just adding a wallpaper, and I had those same pillows on another couch, and they were just going to disappear if I changed the wallpaper. And so thankfully turning that on prevented them from disappearing, and it was so useful because I've been noticing that a lot in builds recently, where if you go to change a wall color, or if you go to remove a wall or change the shape of a room, things are just being deleted a lot more often. And another thing that I noticed, when placing sometimes I use windows basically as like a glass wall in like a shower or something. And you used to be able to draw the wall, place the window, and then remove the wall, and then the window would stay there, and it still does, but it used to not turn black. Now it's like there's this heavy shadow over it. And I don't know why that's happening. I've never really noticed it before, but recently I've noticed it like quite often. So I think something may have like changed in an update or something. So I don't know, it's kind of frustrating. But anyways, here I'm moving on to the kitchen and dining room. So where I was first placing the dining table is where I thought I would have the dining table originally when I was thinking of the floor plan. And so once I placed it, I was like, yeah, this would have not really worked out the way that I had thought. And so I moved the dining table over here, and it's a bigger space than I would normally probably have for a dining room, but I think it just worked out so nice, and it just felt like a much more realistic floor plan in my opinion. So you guys have to let me know if you agree. And then over here, this wall was giving me so much trouble. I had no idea what I should place here, if it should be a fireplace, if it should be bookcases or a cabinet, but I ended up placing this cabinet that came from Jungle Adventure, and I just thought that it worked in here so perfectly. And you would think with it coming from Jungle Adventure, it would be maybe too like of like a specific style or something and not be that versatile, but I find that this particular cabinet is so versatile, especially in this white swatch, just because you can put it in a family home like this and it blends in perfectly, and it looks like, I don't know, it just looks like it belongs here. So I was really happy that it fit here so nicely. And then I just put a chair in the corner with a lamp and a side table with a fishbowl and some decorations. And then that base game painting that's like a go-to when building these family homes. That nice little like scenery painting is so nice. Yeah, here I just cluttered up the cabinet with a few different decorations. And then here I'm just picking out a plant to put on the dining table, and I think I end up placing a salt and pepper shaker as well. Here in a moment I do end up switching up the curtains here in the dining room area. I leave the ones that I have in the kitchen, but I decided to use these ones that came from the Desert Luxe kit just because I wanted them to feel like they had been open and not cover up the windows so much, and then I would feel like I didn't need to add like as much like artwork and stuff on the walls, because that is something that I'm kind of struggling with right now in the game, is like the artwork selection. And I think that mostly has to do with, well, I think part of the reason is the artwork in the game isn't that great. I mean, at least in my opinion, you guys might disagree with me, but especially since I've been using so much custom content recently, and the artwork by custom content creators is so amazing, and I pretty much have something for every single build that I want to do. And so coming back to the artwork that is part of the game is just kind of, it's kind of frustrating sometimes. And honestly, I sometimes think that certain things are part of the game, but then I realize they're custom content because I've just been building with it so much. And one of the things, I was working on another build and I was thinking that we had like a starry wallpaper, but no, I realized it was custom content. So I thought that was kind of funny, but I'll talk about it more when that build comes up. But anyways, here I decided to decorate the refrigerator with some artwork since I thought that this family had 2 small children. They probably are always displaying their schoolwork or their art pieces and stuff on the refrigerator. So I put some in-game artwork and then also some sticky notes that came from Parenthood. So I thought this looked so cute, and I think it just adds so much personality and like realism to a kitchen by doing that. So I'm very happy with the way that looks. Over here, I'm moving on to the garage. So for the garage, I really just wanted to add basically garage related items. I also wanted the washer and dryer to be in the garage because I've definitely been in a lot of homes that have the washer and dryer in the garage. And so I felt like this was very realistic. And then other than that, I do place a woodworking table in here. I actually moved the laundry hampers over to the other side by the washing machine or the dryer, just to make room for that. I also add that really nice shelf display that we got from Strangerville, just because it has really great like garage items on it, and then also a stack of tires. And then I add that punching bag like I was talking about, and then some mitts as well. So I thought that looked pretty good. And then here I'm raising up a bicycle to make it look like it was hanging on the wall. I felt like that looked pretty realistic too. And then I'm adding another one in the driveway just to sort of add more like family clutter around. And then here I'm adding the mini fridge, getting rid of 1 hamper. So hopefully 2 is enough for this mini Sims. I actually don't know what is the best number of hampers to add. Is it 1 per Sim? Is it more than that? So maybe you guys might want more in this household, because I do think 4 Sims probably live here. So maybe 2 isn't enough, but maybe if your Sim is constantly doing laundry, that would feel pretty realistic too. So I guess it depends on what you're going for. But over here is going to be that office space that I was talking about. So it's the crafting room pretty much. So I used lots of different stuff that came from the Nifty Knitting Pack. I also used some other items. I made a nice little built-in computer desk area. I really like using that base game either desk or table and merging it into the shelf that came from the kids room stuff. And I think it just looks like a really nice like built-in desk basically. And so I just love the way that looks. And then I also added lots of bags of the yarn and then some other sort of like art supplies and stuff. I really imagine that one of the parents is very much into like maybe like sewing clothes or creating Halloween costumes. I've done this a couple of different times when creating like arts and crafts rooms, and I just really like the idea of like making like homemade Halloween costumes for the kids and stuff. I think that's a really fun idea and kind of adds more like personality and character to a build, I think. And yeah, that's it for that room. Over here it's going to be the downstairs bathroom. So there's just 2 in the house like I mentioned, so there's no ensuite bathroom, but I think for a home like this there didn't really need to be one, and it's not too big of a family, so I think 2 bathrooms should be plenty. And it's very much blue in here, and I decided to do the built-in thing that I've done a couple of different times in apartments where I use the half walls to kind of frame in the shower, and I think it looks really good that way. And I decided to switch up the tile just because this white tile looked so like clinical and like too clean. So I used this one that still has the white on top, but it has a bit of blue at the bottom. And yeah, I thought that looked really nice. And that's pretty much it for this bathroom. I think I just add like a rug and a plant. Basically, I added the plant just to fill in the space, but also to add more color because I felt like it was just very white and blue, but that's definitely the color, like the main colors that I was going for the house. So it definitely made it feel pretty cohesive. But here I'm moving on to the second floor. Here I'm just decorating the hallway, adding a few decorations, and I figured I might as well go ahead and decorate the second bathroom right away. So pretty much using the same items that I used in the first one, just in a different sort of configuration. And I think it looks really nice. It's a nice like spacious bathroom. And yeah, it has everything that your Sims need. There's a shower and tub combo, a sink, a toilet, and then clutter items. And I think it just looks really good. And I really liked using this particular shower in this build. I felt like it just matched the style so nicely, and it came from Parenthood. And I absolutely love this one. I would love to see more like it, and maybe with different sort of like curtain styles, or maybe even just a little bit of a different style. Actually, what would be really nice is to get like a double like glass shower. I have some with my CC collection, and I think that would be so nice to have in game. But anyways, over here is going to be the master bedroom. So in here, I pretty much just tried to decorate it like the rest of the house. I tried to make it feel cozy and kind of realistic. I added a chair over here with a lamp, and then I put a side table next to it, and I put some like magazines up on top of the side table. And I was thinking that like maybe one of the parents likes to sit here and read their favorite magazines. Maybe they just like some like quiet time or something upstairs. Maybe they like to do it in the morning or another time. I really don't know. I just thought it would be a nice spot for the Sims to sit and read their favorite magazines or books or something. And they also have another bookcase in here. So there's quite a bit of bookcases in this build. So I definitely think one or both of the parents is very much into reading and collecting books and stuff. So yeah, I just love those kids' room bookcases though, because they have all the books, but they also have like bins and drawers and like all sorts of different stuff that just make it feel like they have so much storage, and it looks really cute and colorful and stuff. But over here it's going to be the first bedroom that I decorate. Here I'm just picking out some like extra wallpapers for the rooms, just kind of like accent wallpapers. I thought that would be fun just to kind of mix it up a little bit. But yeah, this first bedroom is going to be for the sports lover, and unfortunately this bed is the best option I think for like a sporty kids bed. We have one that came from the high school years pack, but it's a bit like crazy looking, and I don't know, it really wasn't like the colors that I wanted to go for. So this bed, I really wasn't wanting to use it because of the orange. I thought I wasn't going to make it work, but I think it ended up working so nicely because I added a few more like orange items in here, and I think it just kind of brought it all together, like especially this locker turned bookcase in this orange color. It's like extremely vibrant. Like once I placed it, I felt like the room got like 10 times brighter, but I just felt like it tied in the orange bed so nicely, and also the dresser had some orange bins on it, so I ended up really loving it. But when I first placed it, I really wished that I had like a different swatch to use, but I'm so happy with the way it turned out. But this room is quite big, so I was able to add a little TV area, a computer desk area, and there's still like plenty of room for your Sims to walk around. And I added lots of posters and clutter and different sports related things. Like we have just so many items in game for like sports enthusiasts, basically, whether they're children or adults, but children specifically have so many great like posters and stuff, so I added tons of those. We also have some really nice like boards, like this one with the whiteout board. It has like some little soccer stickers on it, and also it has like a little calendar where it looks like they've saved maybe the game day or something like that, or I think a birthday party is on there too. It's just so cute. And I ended up finding another poster that came from high school years when I'm decorating the other kid's bedroom, and so I place it in here too. And so yeah, there's just so many great items, and there's also like a soccer ball, a football, a basketball, so lots of different options for just adding like actual like interactive objects around the room too. And then of course we have that base game like pile of sports clutter that has like a tennis rack and a baseball bat, and then has a few other things too on it, but it's really cool. Here I'm adding some decorations on the computer desk, just trying to make it feel fully decorated and like a kid has decorated it basically, and trying to make it feel a little bit messy. And this particular desk is really nice because it has those details at the back, like another sort of like calendar and some like little stickers and stuff, so it's super cute. Here I'm moving on to the other kid's bedroom. So like I mentioned earlier, this kid is very much into the outdoors. It's kind of like a little campers themed bedroom. Here I'm using these signs that came from Cats and Dogs. I think they're supposed to be used maybe for like a vet clinic sign, or I guess a restaurant sign, or you know, another sort of community lot sign basically, but I sized them down and I made it look like a headboard and a footboard, and I think it looks so nice, especially with two of these beds pushed together. And I do this quite often, but I really like the proportions of putting two single beds together in game, because it's not as big as a double bed, but it's definitely bigger than a single bed, and it just looks more, I don't know, I just like the proportions of it, so I've been doing it a lot. But this bed is supposed to look like a little like pop-up air-up mattress type bed, and so I think adding those on the ends of it made it feel more like a real bed. So I'm really happy with the way this looks. And then other than that, I just added lots of like space stuff, because the little campers has a lot of like space related objects with some of the decorations. And then I just added outdoorsy stuff and different things that I could find that, you know, kind of went along with the theme. And I thought this dresser that I used was absolutely perfect for this style, because it has all of the stickers on it, and the stickers look extremely youthful. It came from the high school years pack, and I don't think these stickers really look maybe like a high school student would have placed them. I think they look a lot more like a child would have placed them. So I thought it was so perfect in here, and honestly, like the themes of the stickers worked perfectly for the theme of the room too. And then over here, I'm working on a computer desk area, just adding lots of clutter around. I found some really great decorations to put on the desk that I thought worked really nicely for like the whole theme of the room as well. And so I'm very happy with the way that looks. And I think just all of the different posters and stuff. This is another thing that we have a lot of items in the game for, is like science and space related stuff for kids and adults, so it's super fun to decorate that way. But here I'm decorating the back porch, and it's the last area that I decorate. I just put an outdoor dining table, a barbecue, a little chair in the corner, and then this is it for the build. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. I hope you guys enjoy the screenshots, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!
Tree, the last weekend of summer, the empire at our fingertips, the autumn to discover. If I would have had the worthiness to be the perfect lover, would you stay under the willow tree when I asked if you would be? Would you be my Valentine? Would you be my Valentine? Still I lie within a memory, devoted as your lover. You could take my hands and cover your eyes and tell me there's no other. Would you be my Valentine? Would you be my Valentine? Pray to find the right one when the time is right. Would you be my Valentine?